Molto. Vai.
So if you want to discuss, I'm going to be here. So you're Christian because I was thinking of
Due.
Okay, yeah. So I want to discuss I'm not an expert of the proposal, but I think there is I think that is and I don't want to be biased, but I think it's a better proposal.
This was one
as both as my stage and the weakness
as a student. A formula, not even one of the more difficult ones, but who among you wouldn't find it normal that the one to finish first was him? And even with all these symbols, what is written here? Well, it should be an M. Is it? Maybe? There is nothing more frustrating than losing a job for only having written carefully and precisely. And in the end, I found out why. The guy here by my side, taken by a trans-competitive impulse, raises his pen from the paper 0.12 seconds faster than me. He has a real talent for this. I think it's not just a question of training. Now, in the formula, there are 25 characters, so it totals 3 seconds. And if you go back and rewatch the video, indeed there are 3 seconds. It's minuscule, almost imperceptible, but we work all day on something infinitely small. Well, it's just another way to looking at things. I have shifted my point of view and I found those 3 seconds, because it's our work, after all, to looking at things from any possible angle, isn't it? We work in pairs, in groups, exactly because the point of view of one can help the others. And sometimes we get stuck on a variable that should enter into the equation, but in the end, we really can't fit it in. But how long does it take before we realize it? So, don't we need the help of someone else? And in all these years of studies, of anxieties, of sleepless nights, hope, frustrations, I've learned to look at things from a different perspective. But I don't think I'm alone in this thought. And indeed, it's not like that. According to an American study on science, physics is the discipline where there is a maximum of the perceived bionomy, more talent, less women. Really. That is, according to the people interviewed, since it is a field that requires a special type of brilliance, then we, women, are not, how can I say, are not encouraged to go forward. Really. Well, it comforts me to know that we are also in the company of the mathematicians. To be alone always generates a state of anxiety. Well, I'm joking. I've made it easy in order to not bore you, but I guarantee you that the research is much more complicated. But no matter how you look at this, in this case, the key concept is that we lack talent. Wow, talent. Well, it's hard to judge talent. Talent is something that either you have or you don't. And probably for many of our colleagues, we have a little of it a priori. And this is very hard for me to comprehend. Well, I'm going to make an example on talent. The other night I was watching a movie. The female character was making a big fuss. She was very agitated. Her way for performing was meant to be excessive, you know. I was watching her and I was thinking, what has all this excitement to do with her characters? And I even allowed myself to think that she, as an actress, didn't have any talent. But it's hard for me to create a syllogism. Well, if one day I have to choose a movie with or without her, I would know what to do. But here there is something more general. Here we are near the bottom of the ranking. Yes, I know. If now I were to give each of you a microphone, oh, we would be in a perfect world. Me? Oh no, I never thought something like that. For me, on the altar of glory, we are all equal, and nobody here is the founding father or mother. And no one here will take that back. Probably you are having a hard time to understanding why I'm telling you all this. It's useless. We have written a paper together. Together we are breaking our backs in the effort to understand these damned strings. And then, look, it's tough for us too. To be a postdoc right now, it's awfully hard. No, really? Hard? Oh. Please, try to add a little extra step to be climbed. What do you get? Victimism, you would say. I've read it in some thoughts. There? There? Or there, perhaps? Look, it's hard. Every passage is not granted, and is not at all trivial. And sometimes words come up that don't put me at ease at all. And to get through this lexical maze is a struggle in itself. But I'm not here to complain. It will be too easy. Come on, trust me. I believe I deserve it. I've gone through my whole academic career. I think that I've got where I am. But to shake a bit of what you already know, I won't take you in my word. Yes, I want to give you a different perspective, as we were saying in the beginning. Make you feel my own thoughts. No, even better. Try to find the equation that has made me understand why he deserves a praise, because he finished faster than me. So, I was saying that to get here, not here on this stage, this is incidental, no, to get this level was not a cup of tea. The roles we have got, they are deserved. We have spat blood to get there. But what I want to do today is to tell you a bit about things, not to make an apology of my talent. That's not up to me to do. Okay, some time ago, I joined a research team, a good research team. During a break, I was talking to the principal investigator. I told him that my academic life was not so easy because of my father. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention it, that my father is a professor, a physicist too. Said to be very good, but with an infernal temperament. Since I was 16 old, we clash more or less on everything. And probably most of you knows him, and so still knows what I'm talking about. But surely my senior colleague was completely aware of this and asked, "So it's to compete with your father that you have chosen a masculine career?" A masculine career. I look into his eyes, roll them a little. Sorry, what is a masculine career? What will be the requirements to undertake a masculine or a feminine career? No answer, of course. In this case, usually there is the idea, but never the corollary. Anyway, I try to tell him that I made this choice because I like it. And apparently I'm good at it. But I don't think I've convinced him. I think he whispered something about the Electra complex, something like this, but I'm not sure. But anyway, it's useless to deny that things happen that seem paranormal, things we have taken for granted, that instead are not granted at all. For example, it often happens that we are mistaken, but very, very often. Oh no, I'm shaking. I'm shaking because I know what this man is going to do. No, it's not possible. He's a professor. I'm here talking to you. It's not possible that he mistakes me for...
Listen,
Good morning.
is it you who... because I have a problem. I don't understand what I should do. I have a problem with my air ticket. Because I need to change it.
Uh-huh.
I have to leave early tomorrow. And is it you who
No.
deals with this stuff,
No,
right?
no.
No?
No.
But what I say wrong? I don't understand your reaction.
Don't worry, okay? Come with me, please. After works, we'll deal with your ticket. Please. Then we'll ask to our secretary, that is not me, to help you with your ticket. Now, please, yes, please sit down so we can start working. It's so predictable. Yes, I know, this is, or may be, an isolated incident. But so often we get asked questions that we are not always able to anticipate. They displace ours with their candor. And I use the word candor out of respect. After all, they've done so much for science. But sometimes a bit of tact will not hurt. This is the mantra that I use with my father. Otherwise, I will not hear talking to you. But since I'm here, I'll try to broaden the discussion. Okay, 8 years ago, I became mother. Yes, of a beautiful baby. I know, for many of you, this is quite strange and inconceivable. But for my part, I've tried to conceive. For many of scholars, just the idea that women researchers become mothers is more inexplicable than trying to bring order to chaos. But it happens, so get over it. Why do I say this? Oh yes. At that time, I was writing a paper with my colleague, a nice piece of research on the fields theory. We worked like crazy. Then my son was born, and I've tried to stay focused on the paper as much as possible. Well, it's not easy to reconcile work and family, but we never give up. Okay, at the same time, I was invited to St. Petersburg for a conference. My son was 2 weeks old, so I brought him with me because I could not give up on that opportunity. Okay, at some point I was in St. Petersburg waiting for my talk, with the baby breastfeeding, while my colleague for that paper was calling me on the phone, answering me what I thought of his new step forward. And the craziest thing is that I was answering him with my husband in front of me rolling his eyes. So, it is our fault. It's us who destroy ourselves in order to show you that it's not true that we have no talent. It's us who feel obliged to give much more than what should be necessary. But can you imagine one of your male colleagues waiting for his talk, with a baby in his arms, answering questions for his collaborators? I can't. But I'm willing to reconsider. Oh, sorry, I completely forgot this. You must excuse me. Me and my colleagues, yes, we have, maybe someone of you know them. Otherwise, I will introduce you, Dr. Patrick and Dr. Nick. We have a short deadline, so I told them that this was not at all a good moment for me for our project, that I have some guests in the department. No way, here they are, so excuse me. But I think that something interesting for you too will come out from our work. Listen.
But if you try to add a complex conjugate,
it could be, but in my opinion, this doesn't go in the direction of the first formula of Professor Humble.
it could be an alternative definition. He always used it, and this is the basis of Dr. Humble's work, you know.
But, sorry, it seems to me that these two quantities are not equivalent. In fact, if you substitute the ansatz, they give different results.
But no, they are equivalent formulation. They are the same thing.
Sorry, but how can they be equivalent if they give different results? So let's do the exercise so we see who is right.
Sorry, but I agree with Nick. It's useless to random exercises. They are equivalent formulations.
But how can they be equivalent if one is finite and the other one is infinite?
Catherine, are you saying that Professor Humble is wrong? Has made a mistake?
This is impossible. How you can say such a thing?
No, we're wasting our time here. We cannot start by questioning the proponent of the project, okay?
I'm just saying that these two quantities are not equivalent, yet you refuse to do the exercise.
But, and what need is there? It is the axiom of Dr. Humble.
I don't care who proposed it, it's wrong.
This paper can't be wrong. It simply can't.
It can't.
It can't, okay? It's impossible to argue with you.
It's impossible to argue with me. I don't understand why they get so upset. I was just stating my opinion. We are three. We need to work together, to sign the paper together. I try to speak my mind, and I don't even think what I said is a heresy. It's obvious that one is infinite and the other one is finite value. But how do I prove it? They are so united in their idea. And if they were right, maybe I should give them some space. After all, someone like Campbell doesn't publish random. Maybe it's me who is missing something, or I let myself be carried away. This publication could be important for my stuck career. I should not insist too much. If they stiffen more, we never get out of this. No. I should not set boundaries. Boundaries. Wait a moment. The boundary conditions.
Excuse me. What do you mean by boundary conditions?
Okay. In brief, if the field is constant, okay, I think it can't go from 0 to infinities. No? Do you follow me? Okay. The boundary conditions are not met. And this is why here things can't they be as in the standard case. Yes! And from where did I get the boundary condition? It really looks like I finally silenced them. They were so aggressive, and now, look at them. They can't make peace with the fact that it was me who had the intuition. Maybe I should tell them, hey guys, if I am here working, it's not by accident. But now, I had better shut up, because I think they are about to tell me something.
Okay. So now you understand the boundary conditions are the point.
I understand. Excuse me, Patrick. Am I wrong, or it was you, few minutes ago, that did not understand the point? That thinks that Professor Humble could not have been wrong, do you remember?
But the point is always the same, and it's precisely the article by Dr. Humble, which implies that his axiom needs to be questioned. We were all working in the same direction, nothing new.
I have some doubt that we are working in the same direction. Did any of you guys have a different thought?
I don't understand what you're saying. The boundary conditions are the key. And we have found this out.
Yeah.
This was one of the most humiliating moments of my life. And I guarantee you that these two colleagues usually are very polite, very careful to my needs, but this time they didn't try to relate, really. That things were fudged seems to me obvious. But the reason why escapes me entirely. It looks like if they admit it, we will lost the value of our work. But the more I try to explain it, and more aggressive they became. But for me, there is nothing better than have an idea and put it at the service of the other. That's strange. Well, I was saying that this was one of the most humiliating moments of my life. It's not true. There is another one, exactly like this. And I'd like to share it with you. So let's rewind the scene a bit. But how can they be equivalent if they give different results? Let's do the exercise so we see who is right.
Catherine, I agree with Nick. It's useless to do random exercise if they are equivalent formations.
But I insist. How can they be equivalent if one is finite and the other one is infinite?
Are you saying that Professor Humble is wrong? Has made a mistake?
It is not possible. How can you say such a thing?
Okay, we're wasting our time here. We cannot start by questioning the proponent of the project.
I'm just saying that these two quantities are not equivalent. Yet you refuse to do the exercise.
And what need is there if the axiom is by Dr. Humble?
I don't care who proposed it. It's wrong.
This paper can be wrong.
Can
it
be.
simply can. And okay, it's impossible to argue with you.
The boundary conditions. The boundary conditions are not met. And this is why here things cannot be the same as in the standard case.
Okay, but if the two quantities were different, what would happen?
Oh, thank you for listening what I'm trying to say.
If we substitute the ansatz, we have two non-equivalent results.
Exactly.
And so we want something to prove that the two results are not equivalent.
Exactly.
Okay. In brief, if the field is constant, okay, how can it go from 0 to infinity?
I was saying,
In this case, the boundary conditions are not met. This is why things cannot be the same as in the standard case.
exactly, I was
Professor
telling.
Humble was wrong. What did I tell you?
Great. Great. And who the thought of the boundary conditions? Great insight. Bravo.
Bravo. Really good. Nothing to say. But how many times have you found yourself talking, and it seems that no one will listen? Maybe we use a language that is not understandable. Maybe we use words wrong. Why? Sometimes do we feel invisible? Well, it's not always the case, fortunately. It's not that our intuition are always taken up by others, but so often it seems that in a room just like this, we never even enter it. Maybe this is the part of the talent that they deny us. They don't listen us, or we don't make ourselves heard. And this is why they think that all comes from themselves. And so they prevent us from moving forward. But it would be a simple matter of acknowledgement of our works. It was the same with Marie Curie, in a time much more complex for women and their works in science. Her husband could not manage without her contribution. Evidently, he knows how to listen. But after all, in 100 years of history of physics, we received the Nobel Prize twice. And the winner were both called Maria. And they were both of Polish origin. If there is a pattern, it is divine. So, for us, mathematically minded, it's not comprehensible. Well, it's easy to think that for the respondents of the survey, talent is the other way, when so few of our efforts are recognized. But is it a simple matter of perception, or truly we don't have the talent to go forward? Before your idea is consolidated, I want to make one last tour on the carousel of our daily lives.
This calculation is a bit long, but even a housewife could do it, yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Sorry, I promised myself to not say a word, but what he did really mean with these words? Why did he doesn't make a reference on a man's job? I'll ask him, just to see what he says. Sorry, Nick, but what do you mean saying that even an housewife could solve it? We all know that is not true.
Sorry, it was just an expression, a way of saying that it's easy.
Oh.
An idiom.
Yeah.
Oh, an idiom. So it's the same with a football player or a priest, for example.
Catherine,
Yes.
how sensitive you are.
Okay, never mind. Those are my candidates.
But they are both women. Why should we include women or consider gender at all? We are looking for excellence, not for gender.
That's exactly it. If you want excellence, these are two profiles that will be suitable for you.
No, okay, indeed.
Oh, sorry. There are some hidden requirements that you have not mentioned.
Okay, no, because indeed, not putting a woman on the short list is wrong.
Absolutely.
Pick one at random, she will never have a chance anyhow.
Ah, so there are some hidden requirements that you have not mentioned.
Look. First one.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's the woman trying to promote, okay? The former has definitely made some good work.
Ah.
But look here. Look here how many collaborators.
It's normal.
She's not independent. I don't think she deserves the promotion.
Yeah. And the other candidate, she is mother of 2 sons. Catherine, she won't have time and space to perform this job at her best, you know. And all the most important thing in her life, she has them home, not a department.
This guy.
It's easy.
This guy definitely deserves the position. Look how many authors on his papers. He has done everything possible to find a fantastic collaborator. He's worth a promotion.
Let me understand. So, my candidate does not qualify because she is not independent, while your candidate qualifies because he participated in many fantastic collaborations. Something escapes me.
But no, it's not about that.
No?
It's that our candidate is much more qualified, more responsible. I mean, in short, with a lot more free time.
Oh, but, sorry, here on his resume, I see that he has 2 sons and a wife with a good job. Why should he need the post more than my candidate?
Because he must feel terribly bad not having a permanent position.
What?
I just wanted to say it must not be easy for him. His wife with a good job, the children, his career to push forward.
Patrick, shh, it's better. But I don't think it necessary to bore you further. All I wanted and we wanted to tell you was in this small representation of reality. Many of you will have smiled. Many of you will have found our narrative far-fetched. Others will have taken it for what it is, a play. But the question that I pose is this. Who could not make you change your mind? Would it have been different if the play was performed by someone else? I mean, someone of a different gender? Well, before concluding, I want to say that everything that has been said here is not out of sociology manual. No, it has been experienced and rather suffered by one of us. And in the end, I wonder if I made you see things from a different perspective. Remember, in the beginning we have played with a small time difference between me and my colleague, my male colleague, to see if there is any difference. And now, that tiny difference will lead you on a different thought. Or what we have heard is so totally embodied in us that it's not rewritable. Is there any possible explanation? Is there an idea of a thought that allows us to think differently? A lot has been written on this subject. Out here, they have even named a square in the defense of women, to make us realize that the road is still long. We don't want to put an end point on this subject. It's impossible. We just want to remind you that one does not have talent until proven otherwise. And a priori judgment is against all that we have studied and all that we love in our beloved physics. And now, sorry I spoke too much, I have to go because my baby needs me.
Thank you very much.